I wasn't really a kid that drank a lot, you know, in high school or went to parties and things like that. But I was fortunate enough. I remember I was 16 years old and I went to France for the summers, and it was the first time I had a real drink, and my first drink I ever had was a gin and tonic. And I remember my friend from Brooklyn, she knew I wasn't much of a drinker and she didn't really want me to have it, but she gave me a sip of it and it was unbelievable. Out here in Los Angeles, there's a very famous hotel called the SLS. I think they have one in Miami as well, and maybe other places. But it was the first place where I tried another gin and tonic. And I remember it just took me back right there. It was an unbelievable gin and tonic, and they had all these incredible flowers and botanicals in it. And the restaurant and the bar was really created by Jose Andres, this incredible Spanish chef. And what created this revival for the gin and tonics is a lot of these Spanish chefs who had restaurants or hung out in the Basque region of France, of Spain, actually enjoyed a gin and tonic at the end of their day. That was kind of their drink of choice. And because they had this strong culinary background, they are the ones that really started putting all of these herbs and spices and things in it to make it more their style. Listen, when you're doing a gin and tonic, obviously there's so many different kinds of gins you can use, and gin is really important. But the real star, obviously, of the gin and tonic is the tonic. And it's really, really important, in my opinion. There's a lot of tonics out there, the ones that we grew up on, all that. But if you can get yourself a really amazing premium tonic, like a Fever Tree, which is what I'm using today, that is really what makes the difference in the gin and tonic. So Fever Tree is one of my favorite tonics. They actually have many different flavors. So it might be one of those things that you need to test it out. You need to see which flavor you like. This is the Indian. The Mediterranean is fantastic. And the Indian tonic is just one of my favorites. It's got a little bit of sweetness in it. So I'm going to show you how I build it and how I like to make it. But again, if you don't have these things, a lot of these things are very easy to find. But if you don't have this, improvise, okay? So I like to use like a goblet here, something that's big here, like a nice wine glass like this. And the first thing we're going to start with is a gin. So I like to put the gin in. This is one of my favorite gins. It's called Monkey 47. So if I'm making like a gin and tonic or I'm making a martini, something where the gin is much more, it's going to shine a lot more because I'm not mixing with all these things. This is a fantastic. It's called Monkey 47 because it has 47 different botanicals. It's actually from Germany. And listen, gin and vodka are cousins. So the main botanicals that are in gin is like juniper berries, coriander, which is the same as cilantro, cracked white pepper, or citrus peel. So what I love to do sometimes when I've got a specific drink or I have a specific flavor profile of an alcohol, I love to see what is it inherent in those that I can bring out. So I'm going to recreate a lot of the things that are already in gin and have them come out. Oh my God, just the smell of that is incredible. Okay, we are going to do, so I'll build it, you build it in the glass. We're going to start with 2 ounces of the gin. And before I put any tonic in, I really like to build this with the ice, okay? Now, I love using big ice cubes, and a lot of times you could have a nice big ice cube and rest things around it, but I really prefer to take these big ice cubes and break them up and create these really nice big pieces. Now, you can easily make big cubes with different molds and things like that. I highly, highly recommend it. But if you don't have access to it, regular ice would be fine, obviously. So, we are going to take these cubes. And what I do is I take some kind of like pretty sturdy, like salad, heavy metal spoon. And all you're doing is you find it and just bang it on the back. And what's great is it will crack up into these pieces, these nice big chunks. See that? See those big chunks? So what I'm doing is I'm laying in big pieces of ice. And it will keep it cold. Oh, look at that. I just love that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep layering it. Let's break this one more time. Love the sound of that too. And the whole point is now you've got this ice that's not going to melt. It's going to keep it cold. But then you've got all these nooks and crannies to kind of put in botanicals and things like that. Perfect. All right, so this is a good amount here. There we go. Okay, that's excellent. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking at these beautiful big pieces of ice like that with the gin. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, now all gin and tonics for the most part, I think a really good proportion is like 2 parts of gin to 4 parts of tonic. But what I like to do is I'll put that in. If I have the smaller Fever Tree bottles, you know, they come in those small bottles. Sometimes if I'm serving this to somebody, I'll keep a little bottle next to it. They can keep adding to it. But let's put in 4 ounces of tonic. And the main difference between a tonic water and a soda water is tonic water is sweetened. So it's got sugar in it, okay? These are all natural ingredients, and that's what makes this so great. It's such a crisp flavor. And, you know, you are looking for a little bit of sweetness to kind of cut that. You know, it's very different than having a vodka soda. This definitely is adding some flavor and some sweetness to it. So we're going to take my bar spoon, and then we'll mix that up so that mixes nicely. Now, the most important ingredient after these two is lime. Lime is just the perfect thing to add to this, but what I like to do first before I put any juice or zest is just want to put like maybe, you know, 4 thin lime wheels down the sides of it. So there's 1, 2, and if you put it, it's almost like put it north, south, east, west, right? I go like that. And then what I love to do as well is put some lemon zest on top of that and peel. Let's grab my peeler. And when I peel stuff, I love to always peel it right over the glass so that any oils or zest kind of goes right into it. And then I'll do that over. I'll rim the glass like that, and I'll place that on the side. You could pretty much do a second one if you needed to as well. Let's do one more. It's nice to have both the lemon and the lime there. Okay, and then the next thing that I love is to put a nice amount of lime juice in there. So we'll squeeze it in there twice. You can rim the glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take juniper berries, which is one of the key ingredients in gin, which you can also do to release some flavor here. We can put those down. Just take the back of your knife and just kind of, just lightly press, right? You're just opening those up. They're really beautiful when you put those in. And then I'm going to put some white peppercorns. I'll crush those up a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm releasing some flavor in there. You can put some that are released and then some whole.
Why peppercorns?
The reason why I love putting peppercorns, especially the white pepper, is it adds a little bit of spice to it. I mean, you could put black peppercorns, but the white peppercorn has a really, really unique flavor and has, you know, adds a nice spice element to it. Okay, we're going to put some fresh herbs in there. I like using fresh Greek oregano. So we'll put a couple of sprigs of those around. Beautiful. Maybe one more on the other side. Gorgeous. And then this is what cilantro looks like, or coriander. So coriander is the same as cilantro. They all start off as these seeds, and then they sprout into these really beautiful blossoms. So what I'm going to do is do 2 things of seeds, right, and plop those on top. Here's another beautiful one right there. And then let's get a couple of these blossoms on top as well. You can see what's great about this is it's really, really beautiful. You're just placing everything there, and you're getting a lot of aromatics. And as time goes on, 10 minutes or so, all of these botanicals and herbs will start to permeate into the drink, and they actually start to change the flavor of it. So I'll do one more. And then to just get some nice color in here, we're going to put these beautiful viola flowers. Viola flowers are an edible flower, but they don't really have much flavor, but they're gorgeous. And there you go. I can't believe it. This is like, I haven't had a gin and tonic in 5 years. I can't wait to try it. There you go. Again, if you don't have these things, get whatever you see at your supermarket, but the juniper berries, peppercorns, all these things are easily, you can find in your supermarket. These herbs, maybe not flowering cilantro, but maybe there's just different mints or basil. Basils would be great in this. Let's give it a try here. Wow. I love the simplicity of this, but then the beauty of it, just how it's layered like that. It's perfectly sweet. It's got a crispness. I think for me, I like that this fever tree is not too fizzy, but it's definitely sweet, and you taste that gin and then all of these botanicals. I can't wait to come back to this after 10 minutes of it sitting. So listen, have fun with it, make it your own, enjoy, and cheers. You get bits of peppercorn.